Hey, what's up, fellow cyclists? So we got an update here, running these new carbon ceramic brakes. So yes, these are the same kind of carbon ceramic material you'd find on Ferrari, Porsche, Lamborghini, etc. Have been running them for very low miles since I've been dealing with some serious health issues and whatnot. I have tried 3 different sets of brake pads. The first 2 do not work very well at all. Well, let me caveat that by saying I'm riding in the middle of nowhere, Florida, where it's perfectly flat and you basically can't use the brakes unless you sprint. So I tried doing that a bunch of times to seat each axle. Front 160 millimeter rotors, it's just really hard to get any kind of heat into this to get the pads to bed in and transfer material. However, the 140 rear I was able to get going really well. I tried it with the standard Shimano resin pads, which is what they say to run on here, resin only. And then I tried running the KO4 TIs, which are my preferred metallic pad. That's the titanium plated metallic pads for basically for downhill. It's a higher heat capacity and it's got a higher coefficient of friction even while they're cold. So the first time you go to them, you know, like somebody cuts you off or pulls out in front of you, the first time you go to the cold brakes, they still have a great initial bite and stopping power. So those are my go-tos for the standard Dura-Ace rotors. And I forgot what these ones were called, so we're pulling them out here to show you. But these are night and day better than both those pads, night and day. And these are the KO5 TI-RX. So you can see we're still also only making contact with, I don't know, 2% of the pad surface, at least on this side. Let's see here. Yeah, so not even making full contact with the pads, and these are getting way better initial bite. Still have great modulation. These are like half metallic, so probably semi-metallic pad. And yeah, it's bedded in nicely, super quiet, no noise. I mean, these things are awesome. Are they better than your standard steel rotors? Well, if you're not a guy who's doing climbs and subsequently doing high speed, 50 plus kph descents where you really need the brakes, where it's like up to speed, up to 50, down to 20, up to 50, down to 20 for a corner continuously, you're not going to benefit from the heat shedding and thermal capacity of these rotors versus, standards. Is really that everything comes down to basically your brake pad. Bicycles are not a high thermal load thing. Even if you're a heavy dude and you and your bike weigh like 220 pounds, you're just not able to generate, a whole lot of thermal energy, no matter what kind of descents you're doing. But if you really want the top of the line trick stuff, and you're like me, a motorsports guy, and you got to have sub 1,000 gram wheels, carbon fiber axles, all the crazy bits. So far, I'd give these things 2 thumbs up, but you definitely have to get embedded. These are like riding on cardboard discs until you really get a transfer layer of pad material on them. So, like I said, it was hard work, doing lots of sprinting, especially now with my dramatically reduced lung capacity and whatnot. But I was able to get the rears done after, I don't know, we probably have like 60 or 70 miles on these, which unfortunately has been like 6 rides. Like I said, I'm barely hanging on. And yeah. So they're lighter, they're ultra trick. The only downsides in you know, what I would say basically real life is to carbon ceramic rotors is doing track days. I had a client of mine, the driver coach. So if you go off sideways through the gravel, you know, at 100 miles an hour and you get gravel stuck in between the cross-drilled parts, they will crack and split and destroy your rotors immediately. Whereas steel rotors will often just carry, you know, the pebble and just drill a hole through your, you know, right through your pads. So, you know, guys in the Porsche Club will ruin a set of ceramics if they go sideways through the gravel traps. But other than that, these rotors should last literally forever. They should not wear. Their, you know, hardness, like HRC factor should be way higher than the steel, mild steel rotors. So you should be able to burn through brake pads on these and never have to worry about changing the rotors. So yeah, they're a lot of money, but they look awesome. They're lightweight, and I guarantee nobody else in your group ride's gonna have a pair of carbon ceramic rotors. So I'm not sponsored by these guys. Buy them from whatever other brand you want if somebody else is putting their name on them. I'm not gonna put a link or anything. And this bike, as you see it, it is for sale. I'm probably gonna be taking the next, I don't know, a couple months off of riding and exercising completely. So if you know anybody, this is gonna be priced aggressively. Please share it with your friends. So, all right, guys, ride